Hello, everyone. Welcome to a very special edition of Hugh at Home. It is election night here in Winnipeg, but we're going to go right away. It's breaking news to Sachet Mehra with a huge announcement. Sachet, you are in Ottawa. Now, why are you in Ottawa, and what kind of announcement do you have for us?
Tracy, I'm so excited to share with you and all the viewers of Hugh. And for the first time in 50 to 60 years from Manitoba, from the West, I've announced that I'll be putting my name forward for president of the Liberal Party of Canada National. It's an absolutely huge endeavor. I am so very excited. We launched officially in Winnipeg on the 22nd. Today I launched in Ottawa to a ton of fanfare. We had MPs and ministers out. I'm at a launch event right now. We've got 100 people or so just waiting for me downstairs. It's been absolutely crazy, a whirlwind day, and very exciting. The election takes place next May here in Ottawa at the next Liberal Biennial Convention. I'm looking forward to it. It is. Somebody asked me, what does it feel like? And I said, it feels like jumping out of an airplane. It's absolutely exhilarating.
Well, we're so proud of you. And hey, it is just like history here tonight. We're here, and thank you so much for your hospitality, opening up East India Company. Your mother, your staff have been wonderful. This is our election night to see and hope Rana can make history. So the both of you, it's a really special night.
Listen, we're so very proud of the work that Rana has done. We're so very proud of the campaign that Rana has run. We're so very proud of the communities and ideas and people that Rana has been able to connect. And at the end of the day, that's what all our politicians should be doing, connecting ideas, people, and places. And it's been exemplary to see that over the course of the last 30 odd, and well, in Rana's case, and she's been going as of you, Tracy, for the last 3 months and 6 months. It's been incredible to see the arc, the story of not only putting Winnipeg first and on the map, but the communities that make up Winnipeg on the map. And I think that was the most important thing. There's lots of issues out there. They were tackled head on. We're just incredibly proud of Rana across the board.
Well, we thank you so much, Sachet. We wish that you were here, but this is a very important night for you too. So enjoy, congratulations, and we'll fill you in at the end of the night on who our
I'm
next
look,
new mayor is.
I'm looking forward. Let's wish the best to all the candidates that put their name forward, to all the candidates that put their name on the line and shared ideas with fellow Winnipeggers. At the end of the day, we all live in the same democracy and we all work for each other. So very proud of all the Winnipeggers and Manitobans that did that and all the crew. Thank you for sharing this night with us. Have a good night in Winnipeg. I miss you, Winnipeg. I'll be home soon.
Oh, take care, Sachet. Safe travels.
Have a
We'll
good
see
night.
you. Bye-bye.
Bye, Ma.
Bye, Mom. Well, we are going to continue on with our coverage, and I want to bring in this special lady right here, Alicia Dacey. Alicia has been, I guess, media coordinator, press release, Twitter, social media, there for a shoulder for Rana through this whole campaign. I guess there's a whirlwind of emotions for all of us, but for you, Alicia, what are some of the things that have stuck out in your mind over since May 31st?
I think the thing that has stuck out to me most is the fact that, our crew of volunteers, we all have different ideas and we all had these really neat things to say and wanting to do, and we all discussed them constantly. I was really blown away with how respectful, fun, diverse everybody was, and I learned so much, not only about the whole process behind the scenes of what happens when you're running for any kind of campaign, but even just more about my own community. So it's been a very good learning experience just for myself. Selfishly, it's been wonderful, yeah.
And I will ask you some more hard questions as the night goes on. Alicia, you have a journalism background. Media has obviously played a big part in all of this. With your knowledge and your experience, how would you rate the media coverage I know a loaded question.
That is a loaded question, but it's an important one too. I've always been on the other side. I've always covered election night, so being in the background of a campaign this time around is very different. And what I did notice is that, as unconscious as it is, there is a bias. I took note of every single story that was printed online in this campaign for every single candidate, and a pattern emerges about which candidates get the headlines, which candidates, their announcements end up at the bottom of the story. It was quite stark, actually, and I think it's an important lesson for all of us as journalists, because 4 years ago, if you had asked me if there was a bias, I would have said no. So this is interesting, and I'm hoping that that the media can take this in the spirit that it is that we still have some work to do.
Yes, no doubt. Now let's talk about communities, because you mentioned that. And I think for all of us, we got to know parts of the city that we never did before. And it really opened up our eyes. What are some of the experiences that you'll take away from all of this?
I think people don't realize how diverse Winnipeg really is, especially when you've grown up in a white community, a very middle class community, and everybody looked like me when I was growing up, right? And how much that has changed for the better, I would like to add, and just how much a wealth of experience and skills and just the different types of lives that Winnipeggers have led, whether it started in Winnipeg or you've come to Winnipeg from wherever you were in the world. So just learning about how big Winnipeg really is in such a small city was a lot of fun. Yeah.
So feelings tonight, what do you think? I mean, that's going to be the ongoing question.
Right. It's going to be a surprise. Whatever happens tonight, we know that Glenn was the front runner, and then his support waned throughout the campaign. It's really anybody's game at this point. So we will see what happens. Just from the support that we've been getting through social media, through emails, through phone calls, Rana's support is higher than I think people realize. And I'm very excited to see who will be our new mayor.
Well, so are we. And we will find out shortly when the polls close at 8 o'clock. So you're going to stick around. You're going to be my political analyst. And I think we'll have some fun going on throughout. So thanks so much, Alicia. So right now, I am going to call upon the social media team of Rebecca Smith and Charlie Thiener and see if we can all kind of squeeze into this wonderful set just before we're going to head into a break, because the polls, of course, stay open till 8 p.m. and will not close up until then. And, oh, wow, it's going to be, I think, a really, really crazy time for the polls.
Absolutely. I think it's going to be close, and I think we're not going to know right away. I'm not sure that anybody will poll in front right away like the last election.
Right,
yeah.
right. Okay, so grab some snacks. Come on down. And right now we're here, of course, at the East India Company in downtown on York Avenue, enjoying some great food and company. It is election night here in support of Rana BOKHARI. And girls, come on in. Let's have a chat. This is a very impromptu in, out set. Hey, so these are the faces behind the scenes that have done so much work. And it's not just from the signs to the posts, but it's branding, it's colors. And what came into mind when you heard that Rana was going to run and you had full reign to do this campaign? Charlie.
I mean, honestly, it was a little surprising, a little overwhelming, but I think we were both really excited, especially for a chance to work with someone like Rana. She's just so fun. She's so awesome. I have nothing but praise. And she had a really unique approach to her campaign, especially from a branding and social media standpoint. So it was really fun to make her vision come to fruition, really.
Picking the colors and that whole scheme. Yes, I know. Those were really interesting colors. And I'm happy to say that we really did stick out.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we went through several color iterations, and at the end of the day, it wasn't our decision, it was Rana's. So the branding is really her, and from the bold font, the bold colors, it's 100% her, and I think that really comes through in what people have gotten to know about her throughout the campaign and how people have been drawn to her, both through branding and her policies.
Okay, policies and getting that out into social media. People like bite-sized chunks, and policies are long. How did that all work? Because we're all new to this.
It was a challenge. I think the key was picking apart the facts, the things that people may not know, and trying to present them in a digestible way. And Alicia and Joanne and everyone on the team kind of helped coordinate the copy for that and help us organize all the facts and statements and policies that were being thrown around because it was a new one every week. So
Well, and Rana specifically wanted you to, because you're young and you represent the future, and we were hoping, and we hope, a lot of the younger generation did vote tonight. What stuck out in your mind about Rana's policies, about what she believed in, and do you think it's going to resonate with people like you, same age?
Yeah, absolutely. Every day we were getting likes on our stories, we're getting reposts from our friends, we're getting engagement, we're getting feedback, we're getting a lot of excitement, and I think that comes back to Rana's kind of motto, I guess, is people over politics. And I think our generation really resonated with that through Rana's quotes, through her sound bites, through her message. So I can definitely vouch for our generation that like this is what we need.
Charlie, what was your takeaway from all of this? Now, we are sitting on the eve before the polls close, like we've got an hour.
oh, I'm nervous. um, I think the biggest takeaway is that we need to see more people like Rana in the world of politics. We need younger voices, we need stronger voices, we need people who want to empower other people and people who want to make an actual change in our, not just our city, but our province, our country, and the world. I think that's probably the biggest takeaway.
I can only echo that, but just working with a team of women at that level was eye-opening. Like there was so much talent on this team, and like we were small but mighty, and I can only imagine how much better that can become.
Well, you're right. You know what? The experience was amazing. You girls did a crazy kick-ass job. I can say ass now, I think, right? Yes. And we got a crazy kick-ass team. You'll see more of them throughout tonight. We are going to take a short break, but we will be back here at the East India Company. It's Rana BOKHARI's election night, and we are so happy and so proud. Thank you for joining us. Come back around 8 o'clock. The polls will close right at 8 p.m., and we will be back here live with all the results, with all the stories, more backstories, and of course, Rana herself. So don't go away. There's still more to come right here on Hugh at Home.
to take care of your
Hello, everyone. We are back live here at the Rana BOKHARI election night party, and we're here at East India Company. And right now, I've got my political analyst, Alicia. Now, we've got CTV and CBC on streaming or doing their thing, but we're doing our own thing. So, we're talking again about the media and how they put a spin on this. And quite frankly, it only looked like there were 5 candidates, but there are actually 11.
Yeah, that's right, Tracy. And it's been a frustrating campaign that way, trying to get attention from the perceived frontrunners, especially when those perceived frontrunners were from a poll that was done almost 2 months ago now. So to have that coverage skewed immediately that way was pretty frustrating for this campaign.
Okay, so we've already created history because Rana put her name in the ballot to run for mayor, the first ever woman of color to run for a civic office. So tonight is almost like gravy on top. Where do you think Rana will do? Because momentum has been gathering throughout the month.
I think we're going to pick up a lot of the undecideds. And I've been hearing all day today that people are going to the polls and deciding right at the polls who to vote for because they just didn't know. There's a lot of choice and there's a lot of information out there to kind of gather all together. So, you know, the polls that said that she had 3%, I think we're going to see that much higher. And I think that Rana will have picked up a lot of those undecided votes.
Do you think that it was good that we had 11 to choose from?
That's an interesting question. I mean, I always believe that more choice is better. However, it becomes very difficult in this kind of landscape when the media is everywhere and it becomes very fractured. And it's also really hard, especially after COVID. Everybody's tired doing that kind of research when you just want to kind of move on with your life and then figuring out who am I going to vote for mayor. That's hard and that's tiring. So there's pros and cons. It is really, really nice that we saw more faces this time around and that we saw a lot of different ideas, but it's hard to communicate and it's hard to punch through that pack when there's so many candidates to choose from.
And we heard from a lot of candidates, and yes, there were those top topics: homelessness, crime, poverty, addictions too. And I guess, you know, we're a little bit more swayed because we're on Team Rana, but you look at all of the candidates and their platforms. What did Rana bring to the forefront that really, you know, I think would, you know, propel her to move forward tonight?
I think the issue that really got everyone's attention was the police budget. Rana and the team, we discussed this a lot. This was not a pie in the sky, hey, let's decide to do this. There was a lot of discussion and consideration when we decided to pledge that 10% of the police budget would go to frontline groups like Main Street Project and other places that deal with homelessness, addiction, and give them that secure funding so that they know that it's always going to come and they can expand their services. That got a lot of attention, and it also forced the other candidates to talk about it because until Rana made that announcement, everyone was talking about crime, but no one was talking about the police. So it really, for me, turned the election and started that momentum for Rana was that single pledge.
Oh, and speaking of police headquarters, and that was another one that she came out of the gate already pledging that she would continue on with the lawsuit.
Absolutely. So transparency was a key theme in Rana's campaign this time around. And yeah, she said, I am going to continue to pursue the police headquarters lawsuit and continue on where the city had started. And again, a lot of the candidates echoed that idea and said, oh yeah, I'll do that too. But again, they didn't talk about it until Rana did.
And following on a lot of controversial topics, safe consumption sites. And I think our whole team, it was like a no-brainer. But we understand the argument against, but again, Rana was at the forefront.
She absolutely was. And again, it was one of those topics that she did not want to be, or that was not being talked about until she talked about it. I'm being told we should be looking up here at some of the results. The first results have just come in. You want to talk about that?
Well, your eyesight is probably a little bit better than mine, but we've got Glenn Murray.
It's a close two-way race. Glenn Murray and Scott Gillingham within 1% of each other, even less. So Rana's at just under 3%, but these are the absolute first polls to come in, and I know that that's going to go up over the night.
Yes, I think so, most definitely. So you're going to stick around. We're going to wait for a little bit more, and we'll then come back to you live right here at East India Company. It's Team Rana. We're here for you, Rana, and making history tonight.
So bougie.
Okay, we are now live. Back here, it's Team Rana Election Night 2022 here at the East India Company, and we are getting results in now. Alicia, you are our political analyst. I love that term. Okay, so just add that to the list of things that you've done on this campaign. All right, name recognition.
Well, that seems to be very prevalent tonight, and probably nowhere more prevalent than in the race that's currently happening in St. James. It's an interesting race because a former councillor, Sean Dobson, was ousted last time when they combined the two wards, and Scott Gillingham beat Sean Dobson in that race. Of course, Scott is, of course, running for mayor, and so it was a wide open race. Sean Dobson got back in, ran again, and he has done little to no campaigning. He did not talk to any media. He did not go attend a single debate. And he concentrated on getting his signs out. And he is winning by a hefty margin at this point. So it's very interesting how the power of name recognition manifests itself in an election.
Okay, and so then let's point it now to the dog-to-dog race, neck-to-neck race with Glenn Murray and Scott Gillingham. Name recognition again.
Maybe a little bit, yeah. It's but they both have name recognition. Yes, Glenn came back, and we were a little excited, I guess, about that. But Scott has been a councillor for a long time, so it's maybe no surprise that they're both at the top. There's still a long way to go tonight. We knew that this was going to be close, so we've only got about 1/3 of the locations reporting in so far. So we've still got a lot of time before we figure out who is mayor, and that if it stays this close, we may not know that tonight.
Okay, so let's do some predictions for Rana, because right now she's sitting, I think I can read the screen, 23-64, 25-64. So still, like you said, a long way to go, but you predict that she will move up.
I'm hopeful that she will. I do think that she would have picked up some of those undecided votes. And a lot of these results still are from the advanced polling. So we will see how that goes as the night goes on.
Okay, Alicia, go back, study what the feeds are doing and what the experts are saying. But you know what, we're going to come back and hopefully we'll have some different results following. So thanks so much. Okay, so we are now going to have a new guest. And I'm just going to come yonder over here. And Chris is here. So I'm going to bring another member of our team to the spotlight. And I know, sorry, Joanne, right here. I know. So Joanne Zook was the speechwriter, but you know what, but instrumental too to help Rana articulate what she wanted to say to the folks and to the public too as well. That whole experience for you, I mean, taking you back, way back in those early days of the campaign to where she is now, your thoughts and feelings.
Yeah, so I think what really stood out for me was, you know, what Rana said the first time I met her, and it was that she wanted to run this campaign as her campaign. She wanted it to be one that was run with integrity and honesty and no mudslinging, one where she was able to represent the values that she held so deeply in her heart, but you know, in other experiences couldn't really bring out and couldn't bring to the forefront. So it was such a pleasure to sit down and understand where she was coming from and help her really articulate, you know, those focus areas of community and prosperity and sustainability that are so core to her vision for the future of Winnipeg.
And so for you, Joanne, why did you want to come on board and help all of us, really?
Oh gosh, well, women. Which camera do I need to look into? Women. We need more women in politics, 100%. And women who are leading with visions and integrity and saying, you know, what needs to be said are, you know, that we have broken infrastructure in this city, human infrastructure, physical infrastructure, and the ways of you know, approaching those problems that we've used in the past just don't work. And so for me, just the ability to support a woman who who had a vision for our city, who has a vision for our city, and who is willing to put herself out there. We know that women in politics take an incredible amount of heat and are treated awfully terrible. Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
I know. We're getting some more results, and yes, I'm going to bring Alicia in. Thanks so much, Joanne. Okay, I hear what.
So for those who are watching, CTV has just called the election for Glen Murray, which I think is premature. However, they have called it just for Glen Murray. There's only there's less than 1,000 votes separating the two, and we've only got about 2/3 of the polls coming in. So I think it's a little premature, but I guess we'll see what happens.
Well, and we do have a very special guest. Chris, come on in, Chris. It's so good to see you.
No problem.
Yes,
So,
I know. So, hey, thank you for coming here and, enjoying this. But your thoughts and feelings right now, declaring the election.
this hasn't changed my opinion. I think citizens of Winnipeg are ready for change, and we need to hold him accountable, no matter what. It's about accountability, and if Glenn is going to be our mayor, then he has to accept the blame. So it's all about accountability at the end of the day, and I think the city is ready for change, and I think we have to hold him accountable.
Okay. So now tonight, this is it. But you were great. I mean, some of the policies, but really for me, hearing you speak, how has this experience made you not only a better person, because you were always a good person, but a stronger person? Because you said that you are going to continue to run, and you're young. So, I mean, one of these years, Chris, it's going to be you.
One day, but I've made a commitment that I would run for 2014, 2020, 2018, 2022, 2026, and 2030. But I won't actually officially run as a candidate in 2030. I hope to inspire and support young people and citizens in general to run for public office and support them through an initiative that I think citizens are ready to be engaged in the civic process and really hold every politician accountable when they are elected. And it's about civic engagement. At the end of the day, if citizens don't feel like they're engaged, then nothing will change. And for me, urban indigenous young people have always held a high standard for me, and they've shown me that the work continues and the work doesn't stop. And so I'm just super supportive of the city because the future is bright, and it's about accountability at the end of the day.
And for you, this has been a very interesting campaign. It was long. There was a lot of candidates, a lot of controversy too on the whole media and sort of the way this whole everybody's campaign rolled out. What has it been like for you through this long haul?
It's been 8 long years, and I never thought me, as someone whose family came from the Philippines, to find a better life for me. I want to honor the gifts and presents that my family had to sacrifice, because as someone who has been working with urban indigenous young people and someone who comes from the Filipino diaspora, there's so much that our communities can learn from each other and what's lacking. And I think one of my frustrations with the Filipino community is it's also a gift for us, is to honor the land that we stand on, and actually understanding that we all want a better life for everyone.
All right, now this is how crazy this is going right now. Scott Gillingham has just declared a defeated mayor, and we haven't even gotten through half the polls. This is confusion. There must have been some confusion. So I don't think the evening's over yet. But right now we've heard that CTV has declared a winner for the mayor. But stand by, folks. Things always change. Thank you so much, Chris, and congratulations on a wonderful campaign.
It's been an honor to get to meet you. I think that's one of my, I've seen you on TV, at Shaw, so to be standing with you and being interviewed, I think that's an honor.
Well, likewise, sir. Okay, enjoy the evening, as crazy as it's going to be. Thank you so much. Okay, we're going to take a short break because things are just getting really, really nutty. Alicia's on her phone. She's watching the screen. So stick around. We haven't declared anything yet here on Hugh, so we'll be right back. Don't go away. It's Team Rana on election night. Well, welcome back to Hugh at Home, special edition of Election Night. I've got Corey McCarthy here. Corey, you had a team of guys supporting an all-female team, putting up signs, and we have to say you guys did an incredible job, so thank you very much. But why did you want to support an all-female team?
Well, thanks, Tracy. So my crew and I, there's four of us, and we've worked quite a few elections in the past. We worked for Mayor Bowman for a couple of terms. We worked federal and provincial campaigns over the last 10 years or so. And generally what we do is we get out, we look at the candidates, we look at the platforms, and we identify a candidate that we want to work for, and we reach out to them. And in this case, we thought that the candidate that had the most integrity and the best platform that we could feel good supporting was Rana. And even though the results aren't what we wanted tonight, we put in a lot of work, and we still think there's an outlet for Rana in politics, and we'll be there to support her after tonight.
What is it about politics that draws you in?
Well, it's important to everyone, you know. Like it's some people are into sports, some people are into arts, some people are into math, you know. But politics affect us all. The policies that get passed at City Hall or at the House of Commons, they affect everyone. And I have 4 children. I really care about their future, and that's why I was so eager to support Rana and your team as well.
Well, you know what? It's been a great learning experience, and I did not know how important signs were. And there is a sign logic and strategy, isn't there?
There's an art to it. I mean, that's just one avenue of a campaign. Like you have to run a strong campaign. Anyone who's on social media saw the ads up this week from different candidates. You saw the big digital signs coming up the major arteries in the city. But you know what? When you put signs out on a person's lawn, that shows people that like we have a contender here. If you have a ton of signs up, then this person's a contender, so they're more eager to get out and vote. So that's kind of our angle, and that's what we're good at, and that's why we sought your crew out, your team out, and we're happy we did so.
Well, we are too. And until the next election, you'll see Corey and his crew out there putting up signs. Thanks so much, Corey.
Thanks, Tracy.
Okay, so I believe how many polls are left? Just a couple or a few?
6.
Just 6. We're still waiting. Love to see Rana move up that board, though. I think she will. I think she will. So stick around, folks. The next person up will be the lady herself, Rana BOKHARI. So don't go away. Right here on Hugh at Home, Election Night. Team Rana, go. Well, welcome back. It is winding down, I guess. And are we declaring, Alicia?
I'm a little scared to declare after poor CTV declared that Glenn Murray had won, and then Scott immediately pulled ahead. But with only 6 polls left to go, Scott does have a considerable lead, so I think we're going to take that chance and declare that, yes, Scott Gillingham is Winnipeg's next mayor.
Well, and Scott was always up there, up in the top, so not too surprised on the outcome.
I'm not too surprised, no, not at all. What is surprising is the depth of a loss that this is for Murray, because if you remember in the early polls, he was at 40%, and it turns out he's at just over 25%. So a 15-point drop is a big one.
Oh, no doubt. And Rana, you know what? Hey, like I said, we've got 5,800 votes. Pretty good.
I'm pretty happy, and I think Rana is too. It was such a hard campaign, and but we also had so much fun doing it. So I hope that Rana, decides to keep going.
I think she will, and well, I guess we could get the answer to that question. So let's bring Rana in. Yay! Woo!
Am I here?
You're here. This is your spot.
Right on.
This is your spot. Okay, so
Okay.
Scott Gillingham
Yes.
has been declared. I think we can safely
Right on.
say that.
Wonderful.
Your thoughts?
You know what? Out of all of them, that would be my best guess. I think that he was probably more aligned in some ways than anyone else. And you know what? I have a lot of respect for Scott, and he was a class act throughout this campaign. Super respectful, super kind. So I am deeply, deeply happy to know that he will be the next mayor. We'll have to hold him account for safe injection sites, make sure that poverty is dealt with and homelessness as well. So.
Okay. All right, girl. It's been a roller coaster ride.
Yeah.
Yes, yes. Can you just put everything into one nice bundle?
Yeah, like I think I think there's a reason that women like me don't jump into politics. I think I'm the perfect example of why we don't do it. And I think that whether it was the CBC debate, whether it was the vulgarness of it all, or whatever it was, we say it every time a woman runs, and we continue to perpetuate it. So unfortunately, that's still happening. But fortunately, I know that we made history. We had the only female team across anywhere. I don't think there's ever been one. We stood our ground. We had a campaign that was truly based on values and integrity. Winnipeggers absolutely did not see us waver on anything that mattered to us. Win, lose, or draw, I think it was an incredible campaign.
All right. And we have to say kudos to all of the volunteers.
Oh, absolutely. So, and the volunteers and, our sign guys and our graphics girls and all the rest of the team, you guys were amazing. And I'm so honored to have had such a team that allowed me to be my authentic self and to stand by me throughout this. So deeply appreciated.
The big question, what does Rana do from now on?
The exact same thing I've always done. I actually didn't change anything that I was doing. I just took a different platform and did it. So, I've always been the advocate. I'll continue to do that. I'm fortunate to get back to work, and I think that my clients are probably like, get back to work now. But I'm happy to be back in politics.
All right. And last parting words on this whole campaign.
Yeah, you know what? I hope I hope that not that I hope, because I saw it. I saw the messages, and I saw all the emails, especially today, and the phone calls. And what's fascinating is the young women who messaged. That was the highlight of my day. That's why I'm smiling right now, because I know that we made such a difference that, and history will tell the story. This is the way you go. There has to be one person who breaks it, and then we'll see what happens next. But
Everybody else will follow.
yeah,
Oh.
and that's what we want. Yeah.
Well, we all love you. Thank you so
Yeah.
much.
And
It's been a
congratulations,
pleasure.
Scott.
Yes, congratulations to Scott Gillingham, new mayor for Winnipeg. And that is a wrap for election night here at East India Company. And we'll see you next time on Hugh at Home.